Good morning, good morning, good morning. The content presented on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. All opinions expressed are solely those of the presenter and are based on publicly available information. Investing and trading involve risk, including the potential loss of principal. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. I had to laugh there because I don't know what the heck I was thinking about yesterday. If you was here for it yesterday, you seen my dumb decision. But let me get into this chart. So yesterday I decided to flip bearish all of a sudden, just out of the blue. I'm looking at the chart and I'm saying, you know what? I'm probably being premature. I think I need to close out this. I switched my long to the freaking short. Then I said, I think I need to close it out. And then I was like, nah, I'm just going to let it stop me out. Boy, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? I said, momentum is still rising on the 1 hour. We just got to buy signal on the 4 hour. But I'm shorting. Stupidity. Stupidity. After spending all day the day before, trying to find my perfect entry in the demand zone. And then before we even get too far out of it, I'm like, you know what? I just want to short it. Wow. Wow. Anyway, Bitcoin. A couple of things have changed in the chart. One is going to be the value range. If you're looking at the entire lower half where we've been consolidating that for the past couple of months, that has shifted. On this chart right here, I pulled it from this low to all the way out to where we currently are, so you don't notice it here, but I will show you that on the daily time frame how it has shifted. And we're actually looking to get into the POC from where we are currently. We are hitting a little bit of resistance if you're using the supply zone here off of the 4 hour time frame, um, along with the descending trend line. But once we're above here, then we're pretty good to go. There are some signals that are pinned high, but overall, the state of the market looks fine. I did enter into a short position at the high of the channel that we have in this little small range right here, the high of the channel. So this candle right here, I did enter into a short position. I'll probably get stopped out. I don't know, but I decided to take it anyway. Okay. I ended up missing all of this part right here yesterday. The only long position I actually had was the hyperliquid long. So I didn't chase the price action. I gave the market some money yesterday, guys, on Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, I gave the market some money yesterday. Um, a little bit of bearish divergence, just depends on what you're looking at here. As far as the RSI is concerned, no bearish divergence here, at least not against our prior high. So no bearish divergence there. Um, a little bit of bearish divergence here on our CCI, but nothing that cannot be invalidated. Okay. But we do have a little bit of bearish divergence there. Aside from that, for our time frame, momentum is still positive. It's still purple, so that means the momentum is still positive, even though we did have a little bit of a swing fail right in here. So a little bit of a swing failure right here that we're reacting to. But aside from that, again, momentum is still positive on the 4 hour time frame. Take a look here at the daily time frame. You can see what I mean about the shift. So the for the entire range low here, this entire range low here, this value area low has shifted down. Before we were, let me just put it like, I'll just put it on this one right here. So before, you can see where we were at. So this was the value area low prior um, prior to yesterday, I just put see prior to yesterday, even with it pulled all the way out to the end of the range, it was still the value area low prior to the close of this daily candle right here. So, like I said, getting a little bit closer, potentially into. I mean, we have nothing but space and opportunity from where we're sitting at right now. Um, to get into this channel, into this VWAP here, and then of course the point of control. So this entire little area that's sitting right here. Um, I noticed that, well, this part right here looks decent. We do have a little bit of bearish divergence in here that can be invalidated. You know, we played the bear div out before right here, and then again, we played it out right there. So possible that we could play it out ever so slightly right here. It won't be a lot, just like before. It wasn't a lot of a correction. It wasn't a big correction when we did get it because we have a multitude of support in here. So, perhaps we do. Overall, everything else looks fine in my opinion. I also noticed that the MACD did cross above the zero. So you can see now here, with the exception of the 200 EMA, the trend is positive. So that's the only thing that's missing right now is the 200 EMA. But besides that, I don't feel like I really need three. But as long as I have two things that are indicating my trend, which is my MACD and then my TMA, we're above both of those. So that's two things that are saying that this trend is to the upside for now. Okay. And show you the MACD because we did cross above the zero line as well last night. So MACD is here. So yesterday, you can see right here, we have a rising MACD above the zero line. So I mean, we were rising in here with the exception of our correction. The delta was, giving us sell points in here, but this is still doing pretty good. So above zero line, we'll see how long we last above the zero line. The next criteria is going to be actually getting above the delta, but daily time frame looks pretty decent. Again, because we do have some bearish divergence in here, unless invalidated, we will see a little bit of a correction in here, and then onwards and upwards, I would say. Um, we step back to the 1 hour. Okay, so here is the 1 hour time frame. So this is where I decide with this momentum continuing to the upside, all purple, all purple, all purple, decided I'm going to take a short, which was terrible idea, terrible, terrible, terrible idea, but I did it, and I have nothing but regret. Okay, so um, we're above uh, this wall here. So this high volume note here, we are above here. We're above that. We did get above our, and we're actually just kind of chopping our mother bar high. Um, where at one point I thought that maybe through this situation, even though we had the bull dips coming in, I thought maybe through this situation we would tweak the actual low, which didn't happen. Um, we are just chopping the top side of the mother bar. What I like to look for in this kind of situation right here, it's usually never chopped. It's usually a clean break. That's what it usually is. It's usually just a clean break, and with a clean break, of course, I have my target up here at $68,000. Now, this is the same one that I shared several days ago. I believe that it was, um, yeah, this is what I shared on the ninth. I shared this situation in here on the ninth. I don't know how I suddenly just changed my whole bias, but I shared this situation on X at Down to Crypto TK on the ninth that I was looking for price action to go higher. And I don't know what happened to me. Something happened to me. I'm gonna get rid of this right here because we did have this breakup here. We failed. I was looking for the initial short right in here. Um, which I did end up taking, by the way. I did end up taking it, and I got stopped out right here with this candle, and I did not attempt to go back into it. So I have missed all of this down and all of this. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. It's okay. It's okay. Um, and we basically did a back test. That's basically what we did. We got the breakup, we got the back test of the breakout right here, and then we got this continuation up. So I'm gonna get rid of this triangle now. It doesn't matter. It no longer matters. All right. So no foul, no harm. You can see right here, our momentum line right here, no foul, no harm. Only thing we do have again is going to be this rising channel situation right here. Just this rising channel situation right here. So could we be, at a finish of a five possible, or we got another leg to the upside here. Um, so you can see the channel right here. This is what I took a short off of, that candle right there. I had to catch something. I did not take profit off of it, so I would be looking to get stopped out on it, if anything, and then I'll be looking to re-enter, um, elsewhere. Da, 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 da. And I can recap with you too, because I know, initially I was looking for this area in here to hold as resistance. And we got CPI data yesterday, and CPI data came in really good. Now, CPI data was not the reason why Bitcoin got the pump yesterday. Did it did it extend because of the news? It definitely extended based on the news, but it wasn't the reason why Bitcoin got the pop. We had bullish divs everywhere the day before, coming into yesterday's news. So we had bullish divergence and we had a very shallow pullback into a demand zone. So uh, technically, the pump was there. It did extend quite a bit, though, based on the news. So I was looking for price action to come in and respect um, this area right here. And I think it was something like, yep, I was looking for it to come in to respect this area right here and possibly get a rejection right here. Well, guess what happens? It goes above and then it dances on top of it. I hate that. I hate when I have a support resistance level and price breaks through it and comes back and tests it and dances on top of it and then pushes off of it. That's not how that's supposed to work for me. For me, it's supposed to be resistance and not end up being support. But that's what happened there. Um, it is what it is. It is what it is. So we're just low volatility read in here right now on Bitcoin and put in the Bollinger here. So you can see we just have this low volatility read here inside of this channel formation right here, looking to break out either to the upside or to the downside. Again, this could be, I mean, it could be a wave five, and then we got another leg up here to finish out. It could be a wave four, and we got another leg in here to finish out a wave five, or it's ending. And we're going to see us break down from here. Uh, the 4 hour, I don't want price action to start walking the line. So I can tell you like right now, I mentioned walking the line yesterday with this 15-minute time frame. If you don't know what walking the line is, it's where an indicator pushes into its top and it goes sideways. That's called walking the line. And Bitcoin on the 15-minute, I kept saying yesterday, the 15-minute, the 1 hour looked good, the 4 hour looked good, the 15-minute looks extended. It was very extended, but we were walking the line. So that's what walking the line is. Indicator goes sideways, and it actually when it goes sideways, it creates if it's at the highs, then it just creates bullish consolidation. Yeah, bullish consolidation for higher highs. That's what happens when you walk the line at the high. When you walk the line at the low, then you create bearish consolidation, lower lows. Okay. So we did walk the line, and we were walking the line on the SMI. It's basically what I was looking at yesterday was the SMI. We were walking the line on that. Extremely high on, all that really means in here is that we were bullish here on the RSI. Um, we're pretty bullish in here on the RSI. I decided to take a short, and we were right around in here, and we were positive. So I don't know where my mindset was at, but that's what I did. And then in here, you can see how we start going sideways. That's called walking the line, and it continues to push prices higher and higher and higher when you go sideways. So at that point, you're looking for a break, which we did end up getting because we had a little symmetrical triangle right here on our RSI. And then that gave us this right here. We did start to see a little bit of a sell off, but now we're sideways and we're putting in bullish divergence underneath here. So we're only putting in bullish divergence right now. So making lower lows on the oscillator, and we have higher lows here at certain points. At least we have higher lows at certain points here on price action, but tightly consolidating. I guess we'll see what ends up happening. So back to the CPI data. Okay, so CPI data came in really, really nice. Really, really nice. Came in good. Okay. One of the catalysts for that it was the fact that oil prices had seen a significant sell off. So that helped. But there were some other influences as well that could sustain the CPI data, even though analysts are factoring it in, or your institutional players are factoring in whether or not the ongoing conflict is going to cause inflation to go back up, because obviously everything is back on right now. War is back on. Could that cause inflation to go back up? But with CPI, there were a couple of metrics that were down, that had deflation, which could be sustainable for CPI data. I think let me see. Um, um, every time I put my notes together, I don't highlight anything, and then of course I'm gonna come in and have a brain fart because that's what I do. I have brain farts. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Okay, right, I think I got it now. Um, okay, so shelter. Okay, so shelter cooled down, and that was good. Vehicle insurance, apparel. Um, look, I like to tell you that food costs decline, but I don't do the shopping, so I don't know, but that's what they say. That's what they say. So there were a lot of other numbers that were down, and gas affects, transportation affects prices, but there were some metrics that were down that could sustain, the CPI data, and we do have some data this morning as well. I didn't even pay attention to data yesterday. I can just tell you that off the bat. I didn't think about it at all yesterday. We got PPI today at 8:30. So we got month-over-month, and we got core, and we got just, core PPI month-over-month and PPI month-over-month. Okay, so we have that today. We also have Warsh is going to be testifying at 10 a.m. So that's also something to look out for. 10 a.m. Warsh, Fed Chairman Warsh testifies. Okay, and PPI 8:30. So right now, I am looking like this situation right here. I think I got my stop up. So that's what I look like right now in this area. But again, that's only gonna work out for me if this 4 hour works out for me. Otherwise, um, I don't know. That's what I look like on the short front right now. I'm just short of that little pop into the top side of the channel here. All right, so that covers that. I think if there was anything from a higher time frame outside of the daily that really mattered. No, nope, nothing outside of here really mattered. All right, so for the hyperliquid long, this is the hype long, and I did enter at the top side of coming into the 618. I did share the idea of the setup with you guys, and my stop loss is now just below the low here. Looking forward to get above just to take this liquidity right here. We are starting to chop a little bit around this area here. We are hitting some resistance through here. Um, so we'll see if we can't get there to take out this liquidity right here. Um, Thank goodness. I did at least have this one open, and I actually considered closing this out yesterday, like, "You know what? It's not moving, it's doing nothing, it's doing nothing." And my patience was getting the best of me yesterday. My patience was really getting the best of me yesterday. So, I just I felt like complete trash, and that's alone. I felt like complete trash. Can we get there? Can we get there? Yesterday, felt like Boo Boo the Clown yesterday. I got some making up to do. I got some making up to do. All right, let's take a look at Zek. Zek. So yeah, like I said yesterday, you either caught it off of here, or if you got lucky, it would come back down into here, and it didn't come down here. So didn't get lucky enough to catch that. It had to be this trend line again. Yeah, it's actually just the first back test into it. We didn't actually test it over here. We tested the VWAP instead. And Zec is still going. It is at an area of resistance. Um, I don't think I saw anything. Zcash is just one of the, and I hate I closed out my Zcash. I hate I closed out my Zcash. First of all, I got Zcash at 200. Closed it out from that. Re-entered the position. Um, Re-entered the position after closing it out. Right here. Close it out. Actually, I didn't even close it out right here. I closed it out on a pullback right here. And then had already changed the idea that it could go higher. Before I closed out, I had gave the idea that it could go higher. And then honey, it did all the rest of this. Like I said, if I trade Zcash, don't do what I do when it comes to closing because I always close out prematurely. Always. Always. But if you're looking for bear divs on Zcash to play out, you might just want to give it a little bit of time. Because at the same time, it's putting in bull divs. This 4 hour time frame is just like Bitcoin's 4 hour time frame was before we got the bounce. With the lower low on the oscillator, higher low on price action, which is hidden bullish divergence, and you just got to watch out for that kind of stuff right there. Uh, we all know how Zcash like to play. Zcash is basically walking the line in here. What I would look for right now, because it has been really strong above the midpoint here, is I would look for it to break below this midpoint. I would not consider taking a short on SEC unless it did that. So every time it gets a little closer to down here, potentially if it's hitting some sort of a trend line, momentum line, or something like that, it's a long position until it breaks below the zero line. This is the CC right here. So this is my version of the CCI right here. I would look for a flip of the CC mean. That's what I would look for. A flip of the CC mean. Same situation was back over here, where you can see back in here how you weren't getting above the mean on the CC right here. And my metrics are different too. So you weren't getting above it at all in here. And then finally you flipped it right here. So this was a flip right here. This was the long that we took. This was the flip right here. And since then it has stayed above this mean. So until it changes and breaks back below it, that's what I would look. I would not be trying to short it. You can try to be a I don't know, a top catcher or something like that. Um, but yeah, don't get chopped up. Let it at least cross back below the zero because it hasn't done that yet. Again, you can see that. This is where it got up above it and it has stayed above it. You'll get little pullbacks in here. At certain places, you'll get these little pullbacks in here. Maybe you like to take your chances with stuff like that, but I wouldn't be too quick to treat it like anything other than a scalp, at least until it fails that zero. All right, 'cause it looks really good. I take away this if I take away that VWAP right there, I want to make sure I was on the right thing. That bird feathers are looking strong. That's a strong alligator mouth is what they call it. It's a nice alligator mouth. Alligator mouth is open. Okay. I'm gonna add my VWAP back. Actually, this was the last touch right here. Let's go with that one. All right. One more thing that was here. All right. So Ethereum, you know what? With Ethereum, I should have left the I was looking at BNB as well. You can see BNB did a swing fail right here. Did a swing fail at this point right here. Uh, but I like it. So the moment I see I could potentially get into it, I likely will. I likely will. Because I like it. I like it a lot. Um, and if I could get it and ride it up to 632, that's going to be great. But I'm waiting for that perfect entry on it right now. Momentum still looks pretty decent here on the 4 hour time frame. So if anything, maybe looking for some continuation. It could be right now at I don't know what the mean looks like. Let me take a look at what the mean looks like here. Um, yeah. Hmm. It most certainly doesn't have that same feature that Zcash has right now. Actually, we checked. Let me switch. Actually, let's take that one away. for all of that detail to show up. Let's go with the EMAs and make it a lot easier for me to say what I'm looking at. Okay, so 200 EMA rejection right here. 400 is up here, this purple line right here. So just rejecting from a 200. It did it over here. It did it right there as well. But this is looking pretty decent in here. I actually like this a lot. And again, like I said, if I could get a good entry for it, then I will be looking to take it up to 632. But no entry, nothing that I would do right now. And I only just started looking at it while it was in this consolidation, as you know, yesterday. Not yesterday. Was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday. I only had just started looking at it then. So, you know, maybe if I'd have seen it earlier, I could have already been in it. All right. So, Ethereum, right? I should have left the entry the way I initially had it, which was at this 382. Because for the past couple of days, um, I was saying that Ethereum will probably get in here to the 382 50% retracement. I did actually have one short position sitting on the 50% retracement, and the other one was sitting on the 382 initially. Yesterday, I moved it, readjusted things yesterday on stream, and went for this top right in here, which looks a lot like BNB, right? Ethereum is starting to outperform Bitcoin. But again, you know, it is rejecting around the 382 Fibonacci retracement level. So that is where we're at. Just the 382 right here. And then the 50 is right here, where you have this huge node sticking out right here for the 50. So I might change this one right here. I did put a notation at the top of it before coming in here that I will only consider this right here at this point based on how things are going. I will only consider it if price closed above it, and then for some reason price got stuck back underneath it, so it had to close back below it, and then consider taking a short position. But otherwise, I think once we can, once Ethereum is able to get past this 382, um, that yeah, might not want to consider. I not want to consider that. Hell, I don't even know if you want to consider the 50% retracement at that point. I don't know. I honestly don't know if you want to consider that at that point. But definitely outperform. You can see the difference here. Um, Let me do one thing here. Let me put this back over here. I don't want that to tag along with me. All right. So you can see the difference. You can see how with Bitcoin's daily time frame, our channel is leaning down. So it has a bullish posture on Bitcoin um, daily time frame. Let me show you that real quick. Go back to that real quick. All right. So right here, you can see how Bitcoin's channel on the daily is postured down. That's nice. That's bullish. This is where you're typically looking for something to break up, right? But on Ethereum, even though it is starting to outperform, it's I mean, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, it's changing. It's not leaning down. It's more of a upright angle here. I don't even know if I could treat this like a channel if I tried to. No, it's so flat across here. It's pretty flat here. Um, yeah, it's pretty flat. So it wouldn't work for me. See, that just put me and let me I'm sorry. I have to make sure I ain't hitting you with the okey doke on the trend lines. So had this worked out. uh, as intended, and maybe it could have froze right there. So the hopium right now would have to be to see this come back inside, and I don't know that it's going to do that. That would have to be the hopium right here, right now. Either, to come back inside of this channel, and push this back and push this into profit, push this into profit. 'Cause otherwise, I should have just left it at that 382, and I didn't do that. You can see this VWAP here has been holding pretty good. VWAP has been holding. Let me change the color on this so it's not blending in with that channel I just did. Okay. And then here also, what I was looking at, which is, I mean, you can move this if you wanted to, or hopefully it was somebody who chose. And I said that too, to see how it was going to react in here as well. But yeah, it was so close to the 382. The 382 was just more reasonable. All right, so check this out right here. So you can see where we're actually hitting at here across the top side right here. If you did enter it anywhere where I had it at, then you may want to. I mean, it wouldn't. You wouldn't have to push it up too much higher there. Um, that's at 1943, but we have been rejecting right here off of the standard deviation too, right here. Been the rejection point for Ethereum. Right? And the hopium would be again that it falls back inside of that range that it got the break out of. Whether you use the fixed volume range or you simply use this breakout right here or that channel, you're looking for it to come back inside of the range. It needs to come back inside of that range, really. It needs to come back inside. And that's where we are with that. All right. Let's take a look at oil. I did make a notation in here. We're back at the bottom side of the channel for Bitcoin as well. Let me show you that just in case you. So we're back at the lower end of the channel. We're going to beam bong until we eventually break out of it, which probably, I don't know if they're going to hold it out until CPI, but again, this could be a 4, and then we're looking for another push up. I can't tell you if it's a 4, if it's ending. I honestly can't tell you, but this is our consolidation range. 4 hour time frame suggests that it's losing some steam, but it could start walking the line again. It could decide to walk the line. All right. I made an adjustment over here. I didn't want to. Well, I put a notation in here. I didn't adjust anything as far as the entries were concerned, but I did put a notation in here. I just wanted to do that. I didn't want to move anything around. And, then you come on stream and you see it looks different. I don't like to do that. So this was the short entry yesterday when it was showing that oil was looking toppy. That was a short entry yesterday. It did bounce off of a 382, which again is a bullish bounce. We had the same situation when we were down here. It actually ended up caving through it a little bit right here and bouncing off of the pivot. Um, but the 382 bounce is bullish, at least until, you get some more details. So if you were someone who did take the entry, I would recommend, if you hadn't already, set your stop loss break even because you would be stopped out, right? You would have already been stopped out. But if you didn't do that, just know that you have the option of doing that. Because I do want to make an adjustment here personally. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to adjust this down to just, here because it doesn't make sense how high up it is. So I'm just gonna adjust this to here, which is also going to allow me to modify this. Because if price does get the drop down, I don't think it gets too far. So I'm just gonna put it, um, actually, Imma think it's, like, somewhere right here back at the pivot. So I just wanted to make that adjustment on that. Um, and then again, this would be the next zone to really look at where we have the VWAP at, the golden pocket. We also have the gap in here. So, uh, this isn't a limit entry. It is a wait and see what things look like if this gets invalidated and price pushes up into here. I don't think I've seen anything else. Yeah. Can't tell if this is flagging out or not. But again, I mean, a 382 bounce is bullish. Um, you at least made some money off of it if you even did take it, even if you don't get the full feel of the short position. All right. Let's see SpaceX because we talked about a entry on SpaceX yesterday as well. I think SpaceX, I know it did. Um, so we were looking at this entry right here. So it was, I'm gonna slide it over to where it was at the time. At the time, it was right here. So that was a long entry here for SpaceX. You can see it only ended up coming into our VWAP, our first VWAP, because that's our second VWAP right there. But these are both on the chart. Just looking forward to get into this VWAP right here. We did make notation about this VWAP right here, but the risk to reward just wasn't there to stop it out right here. So pushed it up higher. It did reject from this VWAP right here, and it ever so slightly stopped it out right here. And I think it has potential to continue up. The reason why we looked at this for uh, SpaceX is because, again, right here, we're saying that it had not got this low before because I know initially I was thinking about let me put it on the 1 hour so you can see the number right here. So initially I was thinking about price action getting into the 1.618. Yes. So if this is a wave. If this is a wave five, then I will be looking forward to getting to the 1.618 as a bare minimum. Um, that's 134. And um, it's like it hasn't deviated too far for standard deviation to the four, so maybe that doesn't happen, and that's all that was about yesterday. It was a maybe that doesn't happen, and um, we were right in here. We were right in here, so you can see where it stopped. hit the stop, trigger the stop right there. That push back into that standard deviation two here. We don't have a lot to go off of for SpaceX. Like we don't have any new pivots down below to really go off of. I was using like a 15-minute time frame to determine my pivots, and it was working out. It was working out pretty good. But as more and more data comes in, I'm gonna have to adjust for higher time frames. Um, and nothing has printed for me just yet. So this was really useful. So maybe this does hold in here, and SpaceX will um, get that pop back up, take out this high, and start to change structure in here, at least to get into that the the VWAP 152.75, which again is here. It actually this will have to be adjusted down. So whatever your risk level, whatever your risk tolerance was, if you had yours slightly lower, because it just like look at that, like it just pricked it. Anyway, all right. There has been some resistance taking place from the VWAP on MU as well. So the MU um, long yesterday before coming on live stream, this was added into the chart because it has the symmetrical triangle here at the lows here. And then, of course, the VWAP, which again, I shared with you what I had posted on X in regards to taking a long position and telling you that if you don't agree with the long position, because there is insider selling pressure, I haven't seen anything new drop, so it may have subsided, but I don't want to downplay the fact that there, those sales could hit the market at any time. And if you didn't agree with the loan, then look to short VWAP. So what my post was, look to short VWAP if you didn't agree with the loan. So VWAP has been holding it down after that initial pop up. It's been holding it down right here inside of this little triangle formation right here. So Um, and I don't know if I had a mother bar or anything like that in here. No, I didn't. So, yeah, I don't know where to go from here with this one. I really don't. I do my best to help you with some analysis, but I really don't know where to go from here because it's just stuck in the middle. It's just stuck in the center right here. Um, Let me go to a 4 hour. Still looks fine here on a 4 hour time frame. It's still holding up. Um, did get a little bit of bearish divergence here as it was pushing into that VWAP. Is that the bearish move? No, it's not. It's actually not. We could consider it to be exaggerated, but it's actually not. All right, so nothing there. This could be one of those situations where I was just saying, like with Zcash, looking forward to get above the zero line. You know, looking forward to get above the zero line. I'm most certainly not looking to downplay anything in here. Yeah, still, oof, 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 oof. Mm. We'll see. We're at the mean, so the mean is just hopium. Again, if we do lose this, yeah, because I don't like the way it's been rejecting off of that VWAP. If we do lose it, then we know to look down here at the gap fill. Okay, at the gap fill, because there's nothing after this trend right here, just a gap fill. Um, and I've only been using, um, Then even here, you can see how it's chopping around this VWAP right here. Um, so you can see that situation. You can see that situation you're dealing with. Um, you can see that situation you're dealing with right here as it chops around that VWAP there. We said the gap fill, right? That's 887.27 right there. That's actually just uh, back to this low like that. It's rather flat, so maybe it doesn't get there immediately. Guess we'll find out. So I'm gonna stay attentive to this order block. Yeah, just keep focused on that. But geez, it is not playing with this VWAP. It is not playing with this VWAP. Ugh. And all I was really looking for again is for a gap fill. Um, but if you did take it, because it was given in advance, you did make some profit off of it. I don't know where else to go with it. Um, and I think that that was the only other one. Okay, Spy is actually holding up very well. Um, Spy is holding up very well. The invalidation on the short on Spy is here. I don't know why I chose that area. I do know why. I do know why I chose it. Um, I chose because we had a momentum shift right here. We had a momentum shift right here that sent us down. So the idea was and it was an aggressive entry. It wasn't a wait and see what happens. It was just simply plotted there and blah, 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 blah. But if you waited, you probably would have done better. The idea is if the strength was really there to drive price down, then um, it would struggle right in here. And it started out that way a little bit, and then it, moved on onwards and upwards. Um, and this is a huge idea, but it's broken in half, which this half looks like it's changing because it was closer towards this trend line initially, and it started from here. this is one. This is two. But it feels less painful if I set it to the side. I set it to the side, it's less painful. Alright, let's see where this invalidation comes in at. It's just above here. So we'll see if it manages to hold down and we don't get some big push out here. Maybe it works. Perhaps it works. And I think that was it. Jump back over here real quick. Bitcoin. Okay, just hanging around here at the low for now. All right. Uh, I think I'm gonna get my full TP here. I haven't taken any profit off of the Hyperliquid loan just yet, so I think I'm about to get my full TP on that. That's good. Come back here. I was hearing some noise about IBM, so I do want to take a look at that. Um, let's see if do I have IBM. Maybe I never looked at IBM before. It looks like I never had IBM to look at before. All right, so let's take a look at IBM. Oh, I do want to take a look at total group. I haven't looked at that in future ages. So I must do have IBM in here. I just couldn't find it. But, it looks like I did some um, stuff on it at some point. Maybe I never saved the chart. Maybe that's it. Because I'm not seeing it unless I'm just absolutely skipping over it. I'm not seeing it. So it looks like I took a look at it, but I just didn't add it to my chart up here. So let me do that now. Add it to my watch list. Yep, I can tell I didn't add it. So there it is. I'm gonna move this up. Yeah, I'll put you right here. All right, let's see what we got here. Could this be a buy? Let's see. Let's put this on 24. I'm gonna add. Not plot right. Let me just make sure that that's decent. Oh, for God's sake. So trash earnings, huh? Still holding up around the support level. It could do like it did right in here and reclaim into here. See how much that mattered. Uh, before I do that, turn that off. Take a look at it here on the. I really prefer a 3 month time frame when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, it can make a bit of difference. I think this level is on my chart, but let me just see. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So that's this level right here, 203. I mean, so it's in between support right now. Even with the descending trend line right here, it could actually end up being a good buy. Let's drop a VWAP in here. Let's drop VWAP. What do VWAP have to say about that? Let me see. Just testing the behavior. And one more behavior test. Maybe two more. I should have just did it like that. I mean, this could actually be a good buy. I don't want to encourage anybody to buy to consider something like that. I'm just saying, might not be might not be the worst. I mean, it would have to chop around right here for a little while, in my opinion. It would have to chop around for some time because this is a waterfall. So chances of not creating bear divs is impossible. So I want to see some chop through here, but after some time, it could be a good buy right here. I'm gonna shade these differently as they progress. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I don't even look like I changed anything. I did. Did I even need this one anymore? Looks like this one has done its job where it needed to do it. Failure. What we have here is a failure to communicate. I don't like that one. I don't like it anyway. So you can go. We'll stay focused on these two right here. But again, you're in the support zone right here. All the way down to this 203. And I do believe that that was 203, right? Yep, 203 in there. And I already know this is just going to be a free fall. Yeah, so that's not going to be needed. All right, let's see what we got. Bitcoin continues to respect the lower bounds of the channel. Just wanted to refresh you on that. Continues to respect the lower bounds of the channel. It looks like it looks like 15 minute and 1 hour is going to attempt to break back and test the top side of that channel. That's what it looks like right now. All right. Yeah, this is just gonna have to chop around for some time. All right, I did not notice that. You can see it now. Yeah, it's not. Okay, there it is. So I'm just carving out a little bit of an inside range in here. Could be a bear flag for that continuation down. I think you're going to get your best luck somewhere down here around this 203, possibly into that 188. But right in here, right in here, I think this base is a base drop and not a base rally. Looks like it could be a base drop. I'll move up here to the 24 hour just to see what we look like. Yep. And how extended were we in here? Looks like I'm putting in some bullish divs at some point right through here. On that bounce up and could be putting in bullish divs again. Yeah, I would look to buy it. I hate when my VWAP moves on me because it's still early. Perhaps in time, I'll definitely look somewhere around that 203 down to the 190 for starters, just to see what price action is looking like at the moment when it get if it gets down to there. But it doesn't look terrible. It just doesn't look terrible. And then if that doesn't suffice, then I wouldn't consider it again until we got down into here between 174 and wherever the ascending trend line where Reprice action can run into this. That looks pretty good. Otherwise, wanna be a little bit more conservative, then you wait for it to reclaim back above trend, back above VWAP. That VWAP is showing up holding it down right in here. Uh, this is where the strength came in at right here. You can see that yellow line, dash line right here. That's where the strength came in. That's where you're back testing and holding that at the moment. Um, and that was where you got to push off with the bullish dips. So maybe some defense for this area right here. Maybe some defense for it right in here. Um, held. Maybe some defense for it. You can really tell if they're really defending it. If you can get back above here and start to flip this into support. But yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. Let me go back over here to Bitcoin. I just want to see that IBM because I heard some talk about it. Um, let me see what that looks like, what that pattern is looking like. Yeah, it's not looking. It's not looking like anything. It's not looking like anything. All right, before I carry on there, I said 15 minute and 1 hour looks like it wants to bounce back up towards the top side of the channel right here. Uh, um, I'm sorry, but that's off a little bit on this time frame. Don't know how long we're gonna consolidate underneath here before we do. Uh, but it is trying to. Initially, I had this like so, like this, and you can see we got that breakthrough back test break back up, and then that swing fail came in right here. I'm gonna actually leave it just like that. We're already seeing. Or do I want to leave it like that? Yeah, I'm just trying. Yeah, still just consolidating. They're probably consolidated until we get a little bit closer to the PPI data. MACD on the 1 hour time frame is at a negative posture, but still, positive, but at a negative posture. So they'll probably just keep it going like that. I'm actually, for that reason, I want a, concrete, uh, something more concrete, because that all that chop right there, I'm not feeling it. But what you will notice here on the 1 hour as we do this little chop suey um, right here, you see how you have this negative. Come on, Swiss. Okay, there we go. You see how you have the negative posture right here on MACD, and delta is below zero line. That's another place we put in a bear div yesterday. Was on the 4 hour MACD, which I expected that anyway. Um, at least until we invalidate it. Um, right now it's just sideways. With Delta taking a little bit of a break, you're still gonna see my teddy bear when I flip this chart. So you can see the Delta. Uh, It's a little bit of a negative stance. MACD here on the 4 hour time frame is still strong, indicating strength, but the delta is chilling right now. So that's where the consolidation is coming in this 4 hour. It's chilling right now. But a bear div at the moment against the MACD, at least until it's invalidated, because it's still rising, so it can invalidate it. The only thing that's pretty much confirmed is CCI. That's about the only thing. I just figured I'd just share that with you. That's something I like to look for after we get a strong push to the upside. I like to look at the MACD, especially when it does one of these, for it to come back up and put in a lower high. It makes for good entries. I like it as opposed to money flow. We're really not going anywhere right now. I said I wanted to take a look at, um actually, let me do this right here as well. Boy, NVIDIA, boy. Alright, NVIDIA. Oh, I can share this with you too. See what VIX is doing. VIX is in some sort of a triangle formation right here. And this is a support zone. So, I mean, it could be looking to break out to the upside. Last time we had something respected like this was right here, where we could tell where we were going to get our pops at on VIX. So last time we had something like that until we broke down from it, which this was a more like an ascending broadening, which is a bearish formation. This looks a little bit more bullish, in my opinion, right through here. Um, in fact, 'cause this is just for my eyes only. That's study stuff. This looks like there's going to be a moment in time where VIX is going to break out of here and pop its behind up here pretty aggressively, and we're going to see some rollover in the stock market. Uh, Bitcoin as well, because it is ETF, but that's what this looks like in my opinion. I mean, as long as it continues to respect, they get a little breach right here of the zone that I highlighted, but I'm not perfect, so it could be me. But that rollover will be epic. We get it. If we get it. Oh, won't let me. I forgot. Cool. All right. Tether with dominance here. Um, Daily time frame. I mean, we've broken here again. And with that rising MACD on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, if this holds true, maybe this is the actual breakdown that really works. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the actual breakdown that really works. Again, we had this breakdown right here. I got all the hopium on this one right here, and then we came back up, pop, 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 boom. And so there's our second chance at this. I could adjust this. I'm not. I could just add another one in here. I could just add something in here. Um, well, that's coming back into here if that were to happen. Um, yeah. Let's see what's going on with my music. Decided it was going to take a break. Um, I'm try some cinematic. Try that again. All right. So perhaps, perhaps. Um, I'm always cautious though, um, especially when, you know, I'm not looking at the horizontal, I'm looking at the um, diagonal. I'm sorry, when I'm not looking at the diagonal, I'm looking at the horizontal. So I'm always pretty cautious right there. Um, the main thing right now is it is getting closer to getting this breakdown right here with the bearish divergence here as it had before back over here. Bear div right here. I'm actually going to push this up to here. Same thing. Looking for that breakdown below here, just as we had got the breakdown below here. So that looks like I would be able to kill this idea right here because maybe that was it. Maybe that was it, you know, and it's not looking to do that. Um, and it's here. No price discovery. No price discovery. So might be able to kill that. Let me get this over here. That part still looks decent. I ain't gonna lie. That butterfly, that alligator mouth still look decent right there. But just giving an account to what happened the last time, where we ended up breaking down below here, slipping that momentum right there, looking for us to slip again right here, slip again right here. Everything looks the same. The only thing that did change again was we did not take out the prior high. Remember, I put the little laughing emoji here, like, ah, hopefully I don't end up crying. And we did close above here and we took out the prior high. So, yeah, that's the only difference through here right now. And I can raise this up to match that. That's it. That's the only difference here on the weekly time frame. Yeah, and leave you looking just like that. Leave you looking like this. I'm gonna take this away so there's no confusion about it. Take that away. All right. I'm gonna take a look at total, which I haven't looked at in forever. Forever. Look right here. Total, total three. My data may not transfer to here. I don't think I used this pane when I mapped it out. Yeah, I didn't use this pane when I mapped it out. So my data doesn't transfer to here. Um, I can take into account some levels and just keep it simple. It's basically gonna look like Bitcoin, right? This is cutting it very close. Mm. When I do this, it's all about the top and the bottom, not the in between, but in between sometimes can be nice. In between sometimes can be nice. I can already see what happened here. All right, so we're sitting on some hopium, sitting on our hopium. Um, Mm, I don't think that works anymore. It doesn't. I gotta refresh this thing over here. Otherwise, I can't get my freaking. I don't know why. Sometimes TradingView lets me put my stuff in here, and then sometimes it gives me just this selection stuff. Okay, let's cancel. It's checking behavior. If I would have looked at that, I probably would have. But I would have ended up deleting it since it didn't work. Okay. There it is. It's already played out. So the bear dip is already played out. We got the bullish divergence, just like any other chart in crypto space right now. Uh, really have nothing until we can get back above. First things first. Looks like we're hovering around. And since I switched this up, the colors maybe a little bit. Nope, still got it there. I hate that. I hate it. 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 I don't like my status stuff to be. Okay, I just want to see this right here. All right, so there it is. That's what we're hovering near. The last rejection we got was at the mean. So we did get a mean reversion the first time right here, pushing into that green line right there. So we're looking to get above right now, 699. 699. Once we do that, the change starts to take place. But uh, right here, the main thing is getting above the mean so I can see what that's coming in at. All right. Let's see if I take that away. I just purely focus here. I might just be able to do a VWAP. Not really. It's not the cleanest. Need to be cleaner, and I wasn't using the top, so yeah, I'm gonna kill that and just work with this. When we got that mean reversion, we at least had this trend line right here to work with. We don't have that now. I can see that that was also like a 200. Was that a 200? I can tell you better from here than I can. Yep, I can tell you better from here. That was a 200. 200 is what we're trying to get back above, just like with Bitcoin. So it's basically the 200 that we're trying to get back above right here. I would really say I would lean more towards this right here. Um, if you're using EMAs, you probably have better access to the EMAs. Um, this is a 12 right here. So that's 697 with the 12 EMA is located at. And let me turn the other ones off. So you have the 12 EMA here, and then you have the 26 right here. These are still spread pretty far apart. It is a weekly time frame. That lets you know how close you are with the convergence on your MACD, at least in terms of MACD crossing above the zero line. But right through here, you can also use that 12, the price action getting above that 12 means you're leaving out of relative weakness, means you'll be leaving out of relative weakness and into neutral. So do that above 697. Maybe that's why altcoins could start to see a difference. Uh, I hate to assume that those big drops. Take that away for a minute. I mean, really, that's where it starts at. I love these three right here, 1226 and 52. 1226 and 52. This isn't showing any signs of bullishness, not as far as that was concerned. You see this rise over here? You don't tend to rise when you're building strength. You tend to drop when you're building strength. So you would do something like this. It would start to drop when it's building strength and not rise. If it rises against you, then it's some kind of weakness in here. When it rises up, it indicates some sort of weakness, and it's rising up through here. So maybe a little bit more down. Maybe this trend line in here. It might be this trend line with these lows in here. I know a lot of people look for that same thing on Bitcoin. That could be the situation. That does indicate some weakness when it rises up against it, as opposed to dropping down. That's weakness. The only time you want to see it rising is when price action is above it. So price action remains above it and it rises with price action. But price action underneath it and it's rising away from it. Mm-mm. We're still not there. We're still not there with altcoins. I mean, the best you can do is look at your pair, see how your pair is performing. It might be something, I don't know, might be something where we have to look at it with Ethereum, certain ones that Ethereum pulls along with it. But in terms of just altcoins, uh, minus BTC and Ethereum, it's still a lot of weakness there. So I wouldn't count on too much right now, but not count on too much. Very, very possible. We're holding support through here right now, but it's very possible that it could drop down into this zone right here, into here. So maybe a little bit more pain, a little bit more pain, a little bit more downside here to go. Yeah, I think it ended up down here somewhere. Actually, low to the high. Hasn't even tapped into the golden pocket yet. I think I spent too much time on this already. Yeah, doesn't look strong. That's for sure. I really don't have to have this. Maybe I can revisit that later. But it doesn't look strong, not from a weekly standpoint, despite the fact that you can see the bullish divergence down here. Um, and maybe if we start to push up, then maybe it'll start to look different. Maybe something to change at that point. But oh, I gotta get rid of that. Inputs. Maybe once that starts to happen, break above here, and that again will be leaving relative weakness once we get above here. But coiling is coiling. You have to sweep at the high, sweep at the low. So it's waiting for a massive breakout to come. I think I'll leave that chart there and come back over here and see if Bitcoin is trying to get that momentum for that push to the upside here. It's about to be 8 o'clock. Um, I mean, if PPI does anything like CPI did, then be looking for me to get stopped out here. And this is the next zone right in here. Zoom it out to a higher time frame than 15 minute. Oh boy. Put it on daily, right? So that will push us into here, here, point of control, any of this in here to take out this liquidity right up here. So theoretically, you look for it to push through here to take out the liquidity, and then maybe we see some sort of a fail right there because the 4 hour time frame momentum. I mean, I like the daily MACD again. Daily MACD looks nice. Um, the trend right now is good. We didn't have that before yesterday. The trend, we did not have a trend in market. We have a trend in market now. I determined a trend in market off of the bottom three. Everything in here is, corrective, but your trend is right through here. And you got two of three with a trend just slightly below that 200 EMA, just slightly below the 200 EMA right now, but we have a trend in market right now. And again, the channel is it's not a bear flag. That's a good thing. So the channel is pinned to the downside, which means you could see a breakout. Of course, that takes it back to the analysis that I posted on the 9th, where I was looking for liquidity to be taken right here, and I said that I didn't favor that the most because of the change in structure with that happening. Um, it could start to imply that the low is in, and yeah, it could start to imply that the low is in. And you can see how that VWAP is also in line with this channel right here, also. But point of control. So everything that's through here, and I think that that is. Let's see what that Fib retracement is on that. You see the value area high is up there with the golden pocket. I think it's the same thing I'm looking at with Ethereum. I'm gonna put this on. I'm not saying that I'm bearish on it, but yeah, that would be the 382. Ethereum just ahead of Bitcoin a bit here. That would be your 382 right here. And then here's your 50% retracement right here as you come into your next favorable high node. So anywhere in between here looks good. I'm actually just gonna put a box there. How about that? I'm just gonna put a basic box right there. Get my coordinates. I can see it that way. And I know what I'm roughly looking at right here. Then sort of push above the 50, you want to see it reclaimed back below the 50. So basically, and you can see that because of this. So if it breaks above 50, you would have to see it reclaimed back below the 50 and then start to treat the 50 as resistance, which means it'll be banging its head up against this node right here for anything above 50. Okay. So outside of the realm of 50, and I don't think I need this VWAP right here anymore. Well, it does make it easier to see where that node is. Um, and this is just the start. So you can see how this VWAP right here is just the start of the resistance past this gap, right? So you can see how that um, at the top side of the channel, where this VWAP is at 65,966.43 if you're using a Binance chart. If you're not using a Binance chart, then I suggest you go plot it. Um, it's just this pivot right here. So got one, two, three. Um, past this gap, that's exactly what you end up hitting first. So it could be something where it breaks, maybe it breaks above it like that, and then it comes back down, and then it gets kind of trapped right there. You know what I'm saying? And then some sort of a correction happens. Uh, maybe that could be the case. I don't know. It's possible, especially if it pops through and then it reclaims back inside of it. Then that's what you will be looking for it to hold it down as resistance. But that's where that comes in at the start of the high node right here. Um, I think I don't know why I didn't put one elsewhere, but oh, I know I did this one right here. I did this one right here because this was the one that was working on the 4 hour back when. Um, because this one worked so well. It's back across here. It might be drawn a little bit different now. It may be coming across a little bit different now, but it worked so well right through there. Ugh, I hate that it doesn't match up perfectly. Uh, it's still a Binance chart, so I don't know why. Um, I'm gonna take that away. And I don't know that we're there yet. That's just coming in at the point of control, so I did not need that one. What was happening when I did this one? What was happening? See, that's coming in at this point of control. Uh, I don't need that. That comes in right around the nose right here. So I'm gonna rock with that. I just gotta shade the color a little bit different. You know what? The yellows don't do right. Go to blues. Maybe it's the ones I'm selecting. Go with three. Yeah, I would like to see it shaded a little bit different. That means I gotta change this from this blue to something else. Ooh, like, I don't necessarily have to have this because these are gonna line up exactly where I need for it to line up, and I can see the numbers. That's the main thing is seeing the numbers. So with that said, I am going to I don't need this one anymore either. I don't feel like I need this anymore, but it's really just about seeing those numbers. So that's what I would be on the lookout for. Unless the current bear div plays out, as you can see where we took our pause right here. Um, took our pause right there. So we break out above here. Again, that's what I would be looking for, somewhere around this 382. Got a note right here. You want to see price action reclaim back below anything in here, especially if you have a high volume. You want to see price action reclaim back below. So top side of the channel, again, that's 65,966. That's this point right here. And the reason why I'm using that one is because it's wherever I draw my line at, right? So um, wherever I can draw my line at without cutting through something else is where it goes. Okay, so that's why that's there. That's why this one is here. Um, and the other one I didn't need because I could have done so like this, but since that's lining up with the VWAP, I don't need that. Right? I don't need that. And then of course that right there. Hold on. Hey, yeah, yogurt. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Disappear on me. I just wanted to see what that was, and then I'm leaving. Go all intervals. Nothing. I'm just curious. Almost, almost. It looks like we may have taken the liquidity from above here, but we didn't hit here. Um, but so we took that right there. Um, Hyperliquid is, oh no, it's not moving as aggressive as I would like to see it move. But in the event that it does, then I'll be looking right about here. Um, right about here. Somewhere around this 70, 95, somewhere around here. Value area, I'm at point of control value area high, somewhere right around here. That would be, my foot. Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain. I'll do that there. But we're not moving as aggressive as I would like for us to move. We're trying to get through all of this right here. If it can, then it could move a lot faster through here, possibly move a lot faster through here if it does. But you can see the amount of resistance that we're battling. Um, you can see the amount of resistance that we're battling right through here. It's just a lot of it all through here, right there, right there. You can see how it struggled right there before, right there. All of this, yeah. So if it can get through here and slip up, then yeah, back to around here, around 72. Maybe it breaks back into here and takes that out, but I would definitely look for it to push back into that right there. It's reading that we're topping. It does read that we're topping. And this is a 1 hour, 4 hour. We're okay on the 4 hour. We're just getting toppy on the 1 hour. Yeah, we're getting toppy here on the 1 hour, as you can tell. But it's still fine right now. Still fine. So hopefully it makes it all the way to the end there. All right. I appreciate you for joining me. I'm down to Crypto TA. You can follow me on X at down to Crypto TA. Let me check back on oil one more time here with you before I dips. Right. So oil still holding down right now. Whatever pattern formation was attempting to make in here, it could be something that breaks to the downside. I'm not here to claim it. I don't even know if that's. Mm, I don't even know if that's a legitimate pivot right in here. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. When it does, I can give an update on it. But that's that in here for oil. Let's see if anything changed in here real quick. Can you? Anything change? Nope. Struggle is still real. Anything change? Nope. The struggle is still real. And SPY, the struggle is still real.